and welcome to Cage Titans Road Show. And welcome to Cage Titans Road Show.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today? We are back. We're back better than ever. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I see my lines bouncing. And, the kind of recap that makes you want to run through a wall. It's been a few weeks since we were at MGM, but we've taken a little bit of time off to kind of re-grease the gears, so to speak, and get ready for our May 9th return. So tonight we are back. We got some guests. We got Nick Eldridge, our Bantamweight champ. Bantamweight's the word of the day. We also got Thurman Hargrove, our amateur Bantamweight champ. They'll both be on tonight talking about their upcoming fights and announcing tonight exclusively here on Table Titans who they're going to be taking on. So we got a couple fight announcements. I think I got about 8 fights right now that I'm going to be giving you guys tonight. So we'll be doing our normal Table Titans fun stuff, announcing fights, dropping, info, and having guests. Also, right now, I do have Nick in the chat. We're going to bring Nick in. Nick's been in his off time filming Milton, the girls hockey team, winning the state title, doing his own. He started his own podcast, I think, something like that. And then obviously pumping out all the fun stuff we've been doing in our off time with, our social media pages, doing who's the best striker and things like that. So we'll talk a little bit about that before we bring on our guest. Most of our guests are trained until about 8 o'clock. So we'll start having guests call in pretty much starting at like 8:45. So I got Nick on, kill some time. We'll talk about some stuff and then we'll go from there. So there's the breakdown. Here we go, Nick.
Hey, we doing, Mike?
What's up, my man? What do you got in there? What are you drinking, a beer?
Yeah, man. We got to cheers to Table Titans, man. That's how it works.
Cheers. I got a Coke Zero. I'm a Coke Zero guy.
Nice.
So Nick, a little bit of time off. For us, you've been staying busy, obviously running the pages, and the pages have been blowing up. 4 million views in the last 30 days, which usually once the show kind of passes the month cycle, we start seeing our numbers dive. But you and Louie have been keeping the numbers rocking. What's been exciting and what's been surprising for you in the social media world?
Ah, man, dude, it's been crazy since Boston. I've been kind of describing it like this. So, like, usually, and I'm sure you get the same thing, like, after a Plymouth show, people like you walk into your regular space and you're like, oh, hey, how was your weekend? Like, they didn't know we just had an awesome show this weekend. This one was totally different in the fact that when I walked into my other spaces, everybody was like, yo, what just happened in Boston? Like, everybody was talking about it. The perception around Cage Titans completely changed. And yeah, like you said, the numbers have been amazing. They've increasingly gone up across all social media platforms. And I was even like going through some of the numbers, and we're competing right now with like the Providence Bruins and the Worcester Red Sox, which are, of course, not the Bruins, not the Red Sox, but when you're starting to get into those conversations as a sports organization, especially an organization of our size, I think it kind of feels like that thing they say, like, oh, it's like a 15-year overnight success story. It's like, guys, we've been doing this for like years, man. Like, this ain't new. But there's so many new fans of Cage Titans. I've heard like media mention Cage Titans with some of these other promotions that have been on like Fight Pass and are around, and it's just a total change. And yeah, dude, Boston was a big game breaker for us, but with all the great content creators we had at the last show, I mean, like the recap that Silas did, like you talked about Louis increasing like a lot of the engagement graphics and the pound for pound list. And then, of course, we have Liam, we have Jacob, we have Martina. Like, I think we have the best photography crew, bar none, around the industry. Videography, like we had Charlie come in and kind of step in Xavier's shoes for the first time last time, did an amazing job. And then we get Xavier back at May 9th, and we're all stoked for that. So we're just in such a good spot as a team. And, for the recap show, I remember everybody saying, oh, it was so stressful. So is this, man. If I could just say one thing, I'm so happy and proud with my team. Anything that we threw at them, they just kind of went into flow. They all said they had a great amount of fun and want to do it again. And yeah, dude, it was honestly one of the best professional nights just of my life. That night was awesome.
It is funny, Yeah, and we got Thurman Hargrove scheduled 8:45. I think I see he's in the chat, so we're gonna wrap up our social media I-5 in about 2 minutes. Yeah. Thurman, I don't want to keep the champ waiting. But it is funny when you mention that. It's like a lot of people were coming up to me at Coops and just seeing him in public, being like, "Hey, man, I can't believe MGM Boston. That's so cool." And it's like, yeah, like as cool as it is, I had the same feeling as you. It's like, we've been putting on shows for 16 years now. Like, we're kind of been doing big things for a while. Like, but some reason the zip code of Boston just, got people talking that normally wouldn't talk about us, or it just had that it factor. Obviously owning the bar and being around Coops, we've even in 2006 when we opened Coops, we got the UFC pay-per-views, and so many people wanted to talk about Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey and things like that. And it was like that factor, when the big feel factor, it's like random people that would never talk to me about fights would bring up Ronda Rousey or like Conor McGregor or Brock Lesnar. Like, that's kind of, and I'm like, dude, there's a million other fighters out there, and you wish they were that excited about all the UFC fights and things back in the day when the sport was growing. That's kind of how I felt about Cage Titans Boston. It was like, be excited to go hang out at Memorial Hall, because that's a badass venue as well. Where were you a year and a half ago when we did Barrett versus Giannetti? Like, we've had these big fight feels,
Oh, yeah. And if I could just say, I don't want to keep Thurman waiting too long, but, like I mentioned, Louis Linton, who's our new social media coordinator, he's not even a McGregor Rousey era kid. He's a COVID era kid. So, like, when we're like people of our age, we consider the McGregor Rousey people like the new fans. Those are like, they've been in the game for like 10 years now. They're not casuals anymore, and we really can't call them that. But it's just so different how they view the game and how they engage it. And really, they are all new fans, and appreciative to have it. They engage it in such a different way than we did. Like, we've had to shift and change so many things, but yeah, man, it really is so cool. And also, like, I feel the same way you do. It's like, dude, you missed Anderson Silva, you missed Forrest Griffin, you missed Sakura, you missed the whole show, man. You just got here. Like, that's how I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's like, man, we've been here for many years and doing these things, but it's great to hear the feedback from you and the social teams. Obviously, we look forward to what we always do for the last 16 years and the last 5 years you've been here, is just continually produce content. I've said it since day one of Cage Titans. back when I fought, you were lucky if there was a photographer there. And if there was, they gave you a big watermark over your face and you had to pay them for your pictures. Like, we're going to continually do what we do. I said it all along. We're going to set the stage. What you do with it is 100% on you guys as fighters. But I promise you this, we're going to capture it. And we're going to capture it not from one angle, but 2 angles, 3 angles, 4 angles. We're just going to keep do. But we appreciate people that are on that have become the MGM fans. But I promise you, if you came for MGM, you don't want to miss May 9th. Ben Simmons asked about the next one, obviously May 9th. So yeah, tune in, buckle up, man. It's going to be some more fun.
Oh, it's going to be a movie, man. Thanks for having me on, Mike. If you ever need somebody to talk to on the show, dude, I am around. I got this new podcast microphone, which I highly recommend for you as well, brother. The lav just ain't doing your voice justice.
You want to hear my silky voice? I got you. And actually today I don't even have the lavalier. I forgot to attach it. So I think it's either running off my laptop.
I'll send you an Amazon link, my guy.
Send me the Amazon link. All right, Nick, thanks for tuning in. We got Thurman coming up. So I appreciate you, man.
All right. Peace.
Peace. There we go. All right, so we got Nick out of here. Let me go big screen before I bring in Thurman. So I'm going to set the table for everybody. Obviously, Thurman Hargrove burst onto the scene for Cage Titans. He's been around for a long time, and competing. I've always kind of had my eye on him, admiring from far. And then when we had the opportunity last year to bring him into the Cage Titans fold, we did. Had an unbelievable fight with Kadu Lanes. Then he went on to just dominate and take out a guy who seemingly was unbeatable. And people kind of questioned me when we gave him the title fight coming off the loss to Kadu Lanes, when Kadu ended up going off to the military and couldn't take the title fight. And I said to everybody who would listen, I said, Thurman is the guy. Like, he was killing it in that fight against Kadu Lanes until he got caught. But trust me, if Kadu wasn't available, Thurman's the number 2 guy. And this has kind of become a trend in Cage Titans going back to like the Brody McDougal and the Ozzie Martin day. You know, Brody and Ozzie fought. Brody won the title, but it was a fight that Ozzie still came out a winner. And when Brody decided to go pro, Ozzie didn't even have to fight another fight. He went right into a title fight. Jaden Curley's done it. So Thurman came on the scene, and I'm super excited. He had some personal stuff. We were trying to bring him to MGM Boston. He had some personal things going on. He's working on in his life. But he's available for us May 9th, and I'm super happy to have him on. So here we go. Without further ado.
And then
What's up, my man?
That was actually good. Oh,
you're back. We didn't catch anything. Don't worry.
Got enough space. Like,
yeah.
it's just,
Yeah, it should be fine.
What's going on?
I can't hear anything. That's mad annoying.
You can't hear? Oh, wow. I can hear you.
I could hear it a second ago. All right, you can hear me. I don't know why I can't hear you, Mike.
Did you mute me or something?
Yeah. I could hear you when you were talking to Nick, and then as soon as Nick left and it was just you, the volume cut out.
It seems like everybody else can hear me. Hold on. Let me remove you. And let's see if we put him back in. Does that do anything for you? No?
That's mad weird. Oh, I'm going to try to leave it and then join back.
Yeah. Leave and come back in. All right. We'll let him leave. When he comes back in, we'll pull him up. What do we got? That was an incredible fight. It was an incredible fight. Miss Ozzie Martin and the whole Martin family. All right, here we go. Let's bring him in. Let's see if we can hear him now. All right, how we going? How we doing now?
All right, there we are. How you doing, Mike?
Man, I was so excited to have you on. The smiling face. Where's the straw hat, my man? What's up? What's up, big dog?
I didn't have time to make it. I came straight from barber school to the gym.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
So everybody's going to be tuning in to hear who you're fighting next, but talk to me a little bit about the barber school. Let's get caught up in your life since you won that title.
It's been pretty sick. You know, I started barber school. So I've been going since January 5th. So we're what, two months in, I believe. It's been bad fun. I've been cutting all the dudes at the gym, cutting some of my friends and whatnot, some family. Trying to get. I've gotten pretty nice to phase. Anyone that's interested, come hit your boy up. It's the same thing other than that, you know, it's just you don't become a fighter in the fight camp. You always stay on the horse. So that's just kind of what it's been staying away at the grind.
Think you can do anything for this for me?
Oh yeah, we'll get you a nice fade going on the sides, you know, maybe we'll give you a flat top with it.
I couldn't tell you the last time I'm in barber. I've been bald for 20 something 30 years. So it's like the last time I had here, I think it was in I was probably 2001 was probably like the last time I had hair, but it's all good. So what made you kind of pursue the barber route? You know, that's an interesting career kind of path. What made you go down that route?
Oh, I love like artistic stuff, but I can't draw for the life of me. It's like I wanted to do something artistic, and I've always enjoyed the barbershop. I love the energy in barbershops. Yeah, I've got like I got a good bond with my barber, so like there are times where I'll go visit him, and so I was like, all right, screw it. It gives great flexibility. It'll give me the ability to make some money because like as you know, fighting's not exactly the most payful sport. Like you stay broke pretty much your whole career, so you need some way of making money for the most part. So it gave me the flexibility to keep training the way I need to train and the money to stay afloat.
Man, I love that about you, and it's so smart. You know, being a young fighter, you have your head screwed on right. You know, a lot of times people say, "I'm all in on fighting," or "I'm all in on this," and they quit their jobs and they don't think about anything besides this. And I do commend guys with that type of focus on one hand, but on the other hand, it's just like, hey, man, like if there's 24 hours in a day, you can't train for 24 hours. So like, there's no reason why you can't be pursuing kind of your, you know, some sort of other career. Either if you still can get to the UFC, great. But then when you're out of the UFC, you'll still have that career that's kind of you've been building. So like, you know, it's great to hear you kind of say that, because that's a conversation I have a lot with fighters. They're like, no, I'm all in. I'm quitting my job, this, that, and the other thing. I have to be all in. That's the mentality. And it's like, all right, cool. But there's no reason why for a couple hours a day you can't go get a job or kind of pursue something else.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is also you got to think about how you're gonna make ends meet. You know, it's like cool, you're a fighter, but do you have enough clientele that you train that you can withstand that? So it's like for the time being, I'm too young. I don't have too big a name. I can't go doing private lessons. And being a barber gives me the flexibility to still do my 2-a-days. I can still hit the gym, get all my lifts and stuff that I need to get done. I still have time to do film study and all that. So that's why I went with it. What's up, Max? You want to situation?
Hey, and let's be real, Thurman. There's a lot of fighters in the gym. It's a great way to network, and they all need a barber, man. So like, you can use your notoriety in the gym and through your fight career to be like, yo, you like me fight? Come see me and get a cut. I mean, I think that's just natural.
Oh yeah, that's where most of my clientele's come from. It's come from inside the gym. Funny enough, it's great. You know what I mean?
I love that. So you're sitting there with Mr. Zakeli. You guys have a big night ahead of you on May 9th. We won't spoil Dan's fight, but I'm sure people already figured it out. Dan will be fighting for the title. He'll have two guys fighting for the title. You'll be defending your title. So without further ado, let's just bring it out to the world. Announce to everybody who you'll be taking on May 9th.
May 9th, you'll see Mugiwara defending his title against Carter Whitty. He's a great fighter. I think he's 4-3, I want to say. He's a phenomenal striker. You've seen him in probably every single Cage Titans highlight montage due to that flying switch kick knee that he landed. I think it'll be a great fight. I'm not going to lie. It'll be a fun one for the fans. I can promise you that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I'm super excited about this fight. You know, I'll be honest with you, it's not easy to match you, you know, like seeing what you've been doing. You know, there's not a lot of people that are lining up to fight you. You know, as you know, I'm sure you've been trying to fight and people haven't been stepping up. And I actually went through a few names trying to get them to fight you for this card when some other opportunities fell through for you. And I got your name from Mike. It was like, I went to one guy, no. I went to a second guy, no. Went to a third guy, no. And then Carter Whitty wanted to go pro. In a off kind of comments, his coach is like, unless you got something exciting to stick around amateur. And when I threw your name at him, it was like, absolutely, this is right up my alley. This is what I meant. So I think the fans are in for a treat with you versus Carter Whitty. You get to get back in action. And, you know, maybe now that I gave you that little tidbit, he's delaying his pro debut because he wants to take you on as a challenge, and he looks at you as a formidable opponent that he would delay that pro debut. What do you think of kind of that? And what do you think overall as a matchup? You kind of gave a quick synopsis, but you know, dig into the matchup a little bit for me.
I think it's a great matchup. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about him and what he believes is right for his career. If him and his team want to go pro, then they could have gone pro, but I think it's smart. You know, you try to rack up as many of the high name, like high stakes fights that you can as an amateur. It's why I wanted to take him on. He's a great fighter. he's shown that he has good takedown defense. He can stand and trade with, I think, every amateur he's ever fought. I mean, there's never been an amateur to really stop him on the feet or really make him fearful and force him to shoot. I think it would be a real pleasure to show the world that there's levels to it. I think he is at for sure the highest level of amateur, but I just feel like I'm better. I feel like I'm the better grappler. I think on the feet, people will be surprised at the level I can display. I think people will be really surprised at my ability to handle tall opposition. It wouldn't be my first tall opponent. I know Carter is probably 5'11", 6 feet, something like that. He'll be the second dude I've taken on like that. The first one, I believe, was my second fight. It was Key something. He's a tall 6 foot dude. I chopped him down. I think it'll be a pretty similar game. Where I'll chop down Carter. I'll take it to him on the feet. I'll take it to him on the ground. I'll force him to play MMA with me, and we'll see who the greater man is that night.
Absolutely, man. I love your insight into the matchup and how you look at it. I'm not going to lie, realistically, the story and the buildup of this fight is more than likely going to be grappler versus striker. But I love what you just said. You're like, hey, listen, you can throw some hands too, and you've chopped down some trees in the past. So I love the mindset. And honestly, on Carter's side, obviously he's billed as the striker in this matchup, but he did have that great submission victory in his last fight. So I think you two are two of the best guys on the regional scene. Even if you guys wanted to stick around amateur or go pro, no one would fault you. You guys have had a tremendous career, and I think this is a great way to really test yourself. Like you said, amateurs is where to do it. Like, let's get in all these tough fights and learn them, like learn your weaknesses and your strengths early on your career so that you can build when you do go pro, you can kind of have those holes plugged in. I love that you're challenging yourself. I love that Carter's challenging himself. And I'm excited for Kelly Martial Arts to be coming to Cage Titans to defend and possibly leave with a new title in Dan's fight. Fuck it. You want to give Dan's fight? I mean, is Dan next to you?
I wish that heifer he had to go to his other gym to go help with those guys and get some good working with them. I think he's in the chat though. What's up, you evil motherfucker? How you doing, Dan?
So, all right. So we won't ruin Dan's thunder, but Dan will also be fighting for a title. And I think this is another example of what we talked about before. Cage Titans, we recognize the true talent of the fighters, not the records or the padding of records and things like that. We want the best of the best. And I think Dan, though he came up short in his fight with Jaden Curley at MGM, he showed he was one of the best 70ers around, and Jaden is one of the best 70s around. And in that fight, unfortunately, Jaden came in overweight. So, I promised Dan his next fight would be for the title against a guy who's willing to make weight and that can make weight. And Jaden's decided to go off to go pro. So I'm excited to see Dan. We'll get his fight. Mentioned.
Yeah, you got to give him his own thunder, his own time.
Yeah, we'll give him his own thunder. But I do not want to hold you too long. I mentioned only 15 minutes, so I don't want to keep you too long. I got 2 questions in the chat. One question is hair related, and then I have a question for you. Question for Thurman: who has the best hair in MMA history?
Best hair. Ooh, that's a tough one. Ooh, yeah. I really like Random the way Random Man used to do his hair. Like, I don't know. I think the very short bleached look, especially when people start putting in designs, I think it looks pretty cool. But I feel like you got to show some love to the mullet warrior himself, Diego Lopez. That's pretty cool. I'm starting to be.
All right, cool. So Nick, we got to throw a mullet for like Dan Lopez mullet on Thurman for a little social media thing.
Oh hell no, please don't.
We got to throw the Diego Lopez mullet on you. And then my question for you: season 2 of One Piece is out. Give us your overall thoughts on season 2.
I think it's phenomenal. It's really cool. It's sick to see all the Easter eggs they're able to fit in. For those of us that are like nerds and we actually watched like the over 1,000 episodes, seeing some of the things that shouldn't be talked about till another several hundred episodes in being like displayed in the background and stuff is pretty cool to see. I think just like the first season, it'll probably go on to do great numbers. I mean, it's too big of an IP to not. But at the end of the day, my heart's still with the anime. You know, it's hard to truly capture like some of the stuff that you can do in animation on like a real person. So I think it'll be a growing progress. It'll definitely do good numbers, but I don't think it'll ever really hit the same way that the anime did.
All right, there you go. I like it. I'll be honest, I'm not an anime guy, but I have watched One Piece season 1, season 2, and I never understood it, but I do enjoy the show, and it's actually made me kind of think to myself, oh, maybe I should go back and watch the anime. So maybe you'll get some of those people that were only fans of live action and now go back. It's kind of like the book and the movie. You got people that are fans of movies, and then maybe they go back and read the book. So we'll see what it does for it. But I appreciate your time today. Any last parting words before we let you run?
I guess the only thing I say is Plymouth Memorial Hall, be ready because there's a star that's ready to make port.
Let's go. Well, I appreciate your time, Thurman. Tell Mikey I said hi. And we'll see you guys in about a month and a half. Stay safe training, and we'll talk to you soon.
Peace out, brother. From the Z team out.
Let's go, Z team out.
And I'm gone.
All right, there you go. Thurman Hargrove will be defending his title against Carter Whitty. What a banger of a fight. I mean, ultimately, I think I mentioned it to him. They're both very well-rounded fighters, but I think the story will probably be told as the striker, versus the grappler. Thurman's wrestling and grappling game is just such pressure filled and overwhelming. I think he's truly destined for greatness, and I think Carter Whitty is the same thing. Carter hit some hiccups in his first few fights, but then he just found his stride. The only guy to ever be nominated for 2 of the 4 nominees for a knockout of the year category, winning. He won first and second place in the voting. The kid is just a dynamic striker, training with guys like Mitch Raposo since he stepped in the gym. Aaron Hughes, he's ready for a big test. And I think it shows you what he thinks of Thurman Hargrove as an adversary to push off a professional debut that he wanted for this card, because he was like, unless you get something more exciting and it kind of gets me up out of bed, and Thurman Hargrove was that name. So with that, moving on, Jason Hurwitz, what's going on, man? Jason Hurwitz, I'll have your name. I'm super stoked to announce Jason Hurwitz will be back. He won Comeback of the Year last year. He had that amazing Celebration of the Year nominee as well. So Jason Hurwitz will be back. Jason, I'll be in touch with you next day or so. I just got the last of all the fight names from Jim, so I have an opponent offer for you. So, anyways, now that we got that wrapped up, I have Johnny Cupcakes Campbell, the living legend himself. If you remembered back when he won the OG title against Charlie Gathers in his last fight, he was in the interview room and was like, I want to kind of retire this OG belt, and I got one more belt run in me. Nick Eldridge, where you at? This was a fight that was going to happen, and then we kind of pushed it along due to a couple circumstances, but it's finally back on. This will be a headline in Cage Titan 76. Nick Eldridge versus Johnny Cupcakes, the man himself, going for win number 25. Johnny Cupcakes Campbell. Bam.
Hello.
What's going on, Cups? Now we just shortened the Cups now?
I like to mix it up,
Hey, Carter, I just got Johnny on. I see you're in the chat. Do you want to call back in like 10 minutes so I can get Johnny on so you're not just sitting there? Or you can sit down. Either way. But yeah, Carter said he'll call back in. So Johnny, man, it's been a little bit of time off since you won that title. The OG champion. It's kind of fitting. A man who fought at Cage Titans 1 all the way now 80 shows later. And you've kind of brought us along the ride and the journey. Most Cage Titans appearances, Bantamweight champion, OG champion. You said your number's 25 wins, and you're at 24. You had a big call out, and here it is. The time's now. You're taking on Nick Eldridge, trying to capture that title that you won so many years ago.
Yeah, right. I know. I fought for it originally back against Tateki at Cage Titans, whatever that was. I don't know. I was like 3-1 at the time, and then I won it against Juan Puerta. Super, super tough guy. Really slick jujitsu guy. He might still be going. I don't know. He's like one of those guys. He's kind of like me. He just like loves to fight, loves to compete. And then yeah, Jay Perrin unfortunately took it away from us. I wouldn't want it any other way, to be honest. It's like there's very few people that I would want to have beat me to take that title, and I've grown to really like that guy. I think he's a really good guy. I think he's Perrin is like he goes to the beat of his own drum, and I think we both are kind of the same way like that. And I think we've always kind of clashed in a way. Plus, we had like, huge rivalry. But yeah, huge props and respect to that guy. So yeah, he beats me for it, and now I think I very well deserve this. Kenny Champion, super tough guy. I'm up at 145 winning these fights against Charlie Gathers. People are gonna look at his record and think what they want to think, but he's a legit dangerous guy um, who could win the fight many different ways at any moment. And I took him out looking fucking good doing it for the most part. Man, a little bit of an ugly takedown, I'll admit, but everything else was like high quality action. Same thing against Kenny Champion. He knocks me down. Even better story. He knocks me down because I'm of my flamboyant striking, and and we fucking gutted out like a mad dog and put him away in the second round. It's just a beautiful, perfect story, and I think capping off the MMA career, because I'll admit I want in on some boxing and Muay Thai in the future in that Cage Titans, Ring Titans. But for now, we're gonna cap off 25 professional wins, finish as the champion, and and then yeah, we'll see. I'm not gonna completely retire. That is for sure. I just love this shit. I'm gonna probably, come out of retirement at like 50 and fight at some point. But yeah, I'm all in against Eldridge. I think that I have more than enough weapons to put this guy away. I think as far as like he's an up and coming bantamweight who wants to kind of go to the next level, and a guy, a journeyman, if you will, who I think has next level skills, and I think that I put him away inside of 5 rounds at some point inside of 5. Submission, TKO, it'll happen. And yeah, he resets. He's on his way. He's 6-2. He keeps doing what he's doing. But I'm gonna cap off this career big with a huge um, career victory. I plan on putting a beating on this guy, like Chris Motino put on me in that second fight, dude. I want to beat this man down in a way that people are like, holy shit. Why isn't Cupcakes in the UFC? And then I just drop the mic and walk away. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, hearing you talk, it's hard, as a fan, a friend, not to get fired up. It's been an incredible journey over 16 years, and our journey goes back even further. Going towards this matchup with Eldridge, was this something that was in your mind that if you got past Gathers that you were going to be looking towards Nick Eldridge? At what point was he somebody that became on your radar? Is it his style that you think you can exploit, and why you want to pick this fight, so to speak, and go for the title? Like, did you I just kind of bring me through, or kind of the fans through, where this came from? Was it like, I envisioned my 25th win for the title and whoever was holding it? Was it, hey, a perfect storm of it'd be kind of cool to fight for the title, and I think I can beat Eldridge? What was kind of that whole like?
Well, I knew that I wanted to cap it all off with something big, so the title picture was always there. Where like if I had positioned myself right, I thought that the title would be a nice goal to go after. So a fight like Perrin rematch was in my mind, where that would just be like a fan super fight. So that was definitely, I didn't want to be an asshole, but I wanted to, call him out, if you will, potentially. But, we're both doing such good things. I can make 135. Eldridge has been on my radar since he beat Lasigno, and then big time when he took out Jacobo. I love Jacobo. We trained quite a bit for a little while at the UFC gym, and I just really, really dig that guy. And it hurt me a little bit to see Eldridge beat him. And yeah, I'm always like, yeah, I don't like Eldridge. I just look at him with his fucking hunting shorts, and it's like, you are not cool, bro. Like, if you are hunting, do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to hunt, I'm happy for you. But I think that is some gay shit, sitting out in the woods and taking out innocent animals who are just living their fucking lives, and you just shoot them with a bow or with a gun. My dog's outside getting fired the fuck up right now because I'm serious. I'm fired up. I think that shit's lame as fuck. I'd say go fist fight the deer, you pussy. And I don't think you could, because you can't double leg something with 4 hooves. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that pussy wants to do is bomb a right hand and shoot a double leg and get on your back. It's not cool. No one wants to watch it. No one's impressed by it. It's just, yeah, I got a problem with Eldridge and everything that he embodies. And I think it's just prime perfect. I've been smashing guys like him my entire career. Wrestlers have the most trouble against me. And when I'm on point, I look back in my career. I don't know if I've ever just won 2 fights in a row. I've just won 2 fights in a row. I always go on long streaks when I'm winning and when I'm not winning. I very rarely just do like a couple and then the other way the next one. I am almost always on point for several fights in a row, and then I get in my own head a little bit. So I'm on point. I feel great. I feel amazing. My jiu-jitsu feels better than it's ever felt. I feel like I'm still improving constantly at jiu-jitsu, especially. My understanding of striking is at the highest level that it's ever been. I just understand what I am doing when I'm striking more than I've ever. I usually am just like out there doing my thing and trying to hit somebody in the head, but I feel like angles and countering and distance management. I'm just on a level right now that at 39 years old, very few people are able to be at, and I think that I'm gonna show the world, if you will, what you can do with the power of your mind. You can be 39 and you can take out young, hungry hunters who, who just want to wrestle people. But ultimately, I'm going to do it in an exciting fashion. I'm going to control a majority of the fight, even if it ends up on the ground. Look back at the Jeff Perez fight. The whole fight is me on my back, just like surviving, if you will, but I'm damaging him the entire time. And by the 3rd round, he can barely stand, and I need to hit him with 1 punch before the fight is over. And Eldridge it's going to be the exact same thing. He's going to try to wrap up my legs like Khabib. I have answers for that. I'm going to push his head away and try to snap his fucking neck when I'm doing it. And I'm going to slam elbows into his temple the entire time. And a guy like that, you just look at his face and you can just tell. I'm not saying that he lived an easy life, but you can just tell that life was sweet to him for a long time. He has this baby face wrestler mentality, even though he didn't wrestle. And I've been doing this a long fucking time. I love fighting so much. And when we're in there, he's going to be trying to win, and I'm going to just be honestly expressing myself.
All right, Johnny, I don't even know what to say.
You?
The comment.
When did I lose you?
You lost. Well, so it's so funny because you were just going.
I cannot hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? You can't
Is
hear
it
me?
me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
I can hear you. Hold on. Cut out.
I don't know why I
do
can't
what
hear you.
Do what Thurman did. Go out and then come back in. All right, we're let him call back in. Maybe that's what something's going on when guys are trying. Honestly, I just some people I fell asleep. Holy shit! Like when Johnny just goes, there's nothing to say. And I just you gotta just let him go. Here we go. Did we got you now?
We're back.
All right, cool. I don't know what it is with that. Something it's insane, Johnny. People have said I fell asleep. I don't think I fell asleep. I can't even keep up with the comments, Johnny. That went. Woo! I wasn't expecting that, but with you can expect the unexpected. You took that ball and ran with that question. That's what they call. I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
That's it. Hey, I love the chat. I got the gift of gab, if you will.
So, that's an interesting take because I gotta say, Nick, I didn't know he hunted, so I guess I learned something.
Dude, I mean, he's got those pants. Nobody wears those pants if they don't be hunting. That dude hangs out at Bass Pro Shop once a week.
Oh man, I've only had like quiet or quick interactions with him, so
I'm sure he's a fine guy.
He might be, but you know what? I like the intrigue it adds to the matchup. I will give it. This is reminiscent of a story. We've heard it a million times. Maybe people haven't. That was a rant that was reminiscent when I was filming a video with you, I think with Fernando Perez, and we were doing an interview and we were doing like a pre-fight hype video, and you're like, I'm gonna fucking stab him. And I'm like,
oh man, I knew you.
I was like, cut. No, we can't say that. We can't say that. You're like, I don't care what I got to do to beat this guy. I'll bring a knife to the cage. I will stab him. And I'm like, no, we can't use that. But
I had a heel period,
Yeah.
I've been back and forth.
But no, man, I love it. To see you motivated and it is truly amazing. I won't dive into all the comments, but I will say this: at what are you, 38 years old, right?
38 right now. Yep.
Yeah, 38. When's your 39th birthday coming up?
25th. Yeah, 2 days.
2 days. So to see the motivation that you have for this matchup, usually guys are kind of like, they say if you're already talking about walking away, you should just walk away. And Dana White says that famously. I'll tell you this. You are the complete opposite of that. Like, this is as fired up as I've seen you fired up for a matchup in the 16 years you've been fighting for us. So I'm excited for it. Let's calm the room for a minute. What else has been going on? You got an opportunity. I'm going to try to. I really don't know what to say about that rant, so I'm a little stammering over myself. No. I think it's funny, and the fans obviously they're blowing up the chat. What? Let's go back to MGM. Why don't we do this?
That was fun.
How much fun did you have being there at MGM and kind of seeing, it's the house that we all built, but very much this was a house that was built on you from Cage Titans 1 all throughout the career. How was it being there and being a part of experience? We did talk about fighting on that card, and you're like, I want to take it all in. So what was it like? And did you regret making the decision that you wanted to take it in, or were you very happy kind of taking it in?
Yeah, I was a bit jealous of everybody in there having tons of fun, but it was a really good experience. I mean, I loved every second of it. The venue was cool as AF, the video, the cameras were friggin' insane. I mean, there were some points where I'm looking at the camera, I felt like I was tripping balls because it looked so clear. It looked better on the screen in front of me than it did on my natural eyeballs. It was dude, it was crazy. It was awesome. It was awesome to see like what that next level of entertainment kind of looks like, and for Cage Titans to be like getting its feet wet on that level, it felt really, really good inside, to be a part of the whole thing and to be there, calling the fights. I love doing that. Listening back, I got to do better. I got to just be better at it, but always improving at everything. But yeah, it's just such an opportunity to be able to get in there and do that. And next to Andy, who's such a veteran, and then Jack Congdon, super cool. And then the fights just really ended up being excellent fights too, especially for myself. Some of my favorite, people were in there in absolute brawls and came out the victor. So I loved it. It was a great night, and I really appreciate being a part of it.
Nice. Good to hear. Give me, before we let you go, I don't want to keep, actually, I got two things for you. I did a little homework while you were going on your rants. You fought Tateki Matsuda for the title at Cage Titans 8 in 2012, May 5th. May 5th.
Wow.
So of 2012, you fought Tateki Matsuda. You won the title November 1st of 2014 at Cage Titans 21.
Never give up.
That was when you beat Juan Puerta. And Juan Puerta is still fighting. He's fighting on UAE Warriors, I think in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Saudi Arabia. Actually, this weekend.
Yeah, he was kind of Middle Eastern, I think. Like his name was Puerta, which I would think is like Hispanic, but I think he was kind of Middle Eastern, so maybe he's fighting at home.
Yeah, and he actually went on and he picked up a victory on the Contender Series. He didn't get signed, but he did.
Wow.
So he's had a great career, 26-9 as it is right now. So little history lesson. Cage Titans 8 was your first ever title fight against Tateki Matsuda, and then you won it at Cage Titans 21. So
crazy.
Over 12 years ago. My camera. Yeah. Can you hear me? Hear me?
Oh yeah, yep.
There we go. I'm switching between two cameras. One of them's decided not to work today. So give me your favorite fight from that night, or whose performance were you most impressed with back at Boston?
Man, all right. So I'm leaning. I think Hillary's fight was top notch. That stood out. That was crazy, especially like Hillary's tuning her up early, and then the girl's size starts to become like a little bit of an issue, but Hillary guts it out and fucking gets the win. Such a great fight. And then I don't know. Perrin's fight was pretty awesome, but it's hard because I'm biased. I thought Zach's fight was great too. Taking out a guy like Don Shanis is, making it look pretty easy. I've trained with Shanis. I've trained with Zach. I was like, this is going to be a tough fight for Zach, and he fucking made it look easy. I love Shanis. I don't mean to dog on him, but Zach just looked he out Shanis in a big way. It didn't look like Shanis had any answers for what Zach was bringing. So yeah, that's that's three-way tie. Parents' fight was great, Hillary's fight, and then Zach's. But they were all fucking great. I'm definitely forgetting some. It was a crazy night.
Yeah, definitely. What did you think about JoJo's fight with the boxing? Were you surprised by that? You've trained with him as well.
Yeah, no, I was not surprised because I've trained with Joe. Everyone knows Joe's head movement is excellent, and his boxing has always been really sharp. It looked extra sharp that night. I just thought Lally would be able to hit him more. I figured Joe would be able to put him get the job done, but I thought that Lally would be able to close that distance better. But Joe that motherfucker, that distance management he has, and then his head movement. So good, and he was just letting his combos go. Sometimes he is a little bit hesitant. He's less so, obviously, the more mature he gets. But against Lally, the way he was letting his hands go at times was elite stuff.
Nice. All right. Well, I won't hold you too much longer. Nick Eldridge will be calling in after you. If he didn't get to listen to your 5-minute tirade against you, give me I'm going to pull you up full screen and give me your message to Nick Eldridge before we let you go.
Nick Eldridge, I really look forward to seeing you in the cage. I think that you're a good fighter, and I think that it's going to be a fight that challenges me, but I just think that I'm on a level that is above you. And I'm going to prove that on Saturday, May 7th. And I look forward to doing it. I'm not going to talk too much shit. I don't like him very much. But I don't want to talk too much shit. He seems like a nice guy, but yeah, I'm gonna beat the crap out of him the whole time and make him give up and make him question whether or not he wants to put more training in to try to go to the next level. That's my plan. Beat him down to the point where he doesn't know if this is the career path that he wants to choose. I chose this career path. I love this career path, the ups and the downs. I charge up during the down periods, and that is my plan: is to take him out and put him into that position where he has to challenge himself and look within, and I'm gonna have to destroy his soul more or less in order to do that. And I'm gonna do that with my elbows and my knees and my fists. And he has a 1 in a million shot of a right hand and then a double leg that I'm gonna smash with my hips like he has never been smashed before. I swear to you, my sprawl, I hit guys with my sprawl. It's like I weigh 400 pounds. And when I land on him for the first time, he is going to weep inside. And I promise you that.
All right. I'm not going to talk trash. Proceeds to talk
Flip
trash.
it.
All right, Nick, clip it. All right, Johnny, it's always a pleasure.
If you can find a clip in there, dude, you're gonna have to cut some stuff out.
Happy 39th. This upcoming Wednesday.
Yes.
Happy 39th. And it's May 9th, not May 7th.
Okay, May 9th. Beautiful. Beautiful.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Johnny Cupcakes, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Take care, guys. Have fun. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. The man himself, Johnny Cupcakes, no filter, unabridged version. Johnny Cupcakes gives it to you like he gives it to you. Doesn't like hunting, obviously. He loves animals. I don't even know if Nick Eldridge hunts because he wore camo pants. Johnny is super focused on the fact that he hunts because he had camo on before. But hey, when Nick calls in later, we'll have to ask him about it. But without further ado, we announced Thurman Hargrove and Carter Whitty. This man is electrifying. I think we came up with a new nickname. He has to remind me of it. So here we are, Carter Whitty. What's going on, brother?
What's up, brother?
Man, it's been. What was the new nickname that we came up with?
It was the most violent. That's
the most
what it was.
Violent Carter Whitty. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna go back from that though.
You don't like? Oh
No, it's just gonna be Carter Whitty. It's just gonna be Carter Whitty.
Hold on. Can it be? Can we just announce you as just Carter Whitty?
Yeah.
well, just Carter Whitty, man. It's been an incredible ride. With you, so many highlight performances. And I got to say, when Brian kind of reached out and was like, hey, we want the pro debut or something that's equally exciting, was Thurman kind of the name that he was alluding to? Was it somebody else, or what kind of made you excited about this matchup to kind of prolong for another event or two, going pro and taking this matchup?
So there was 2 guys in amateur that I would stay and fight for, and one of them made more sense because he had the title, and it was Thurman, and the other was Kadu, which I was scheduled to fight at one point because I think you guys just see both our fighting styles and just see that would be an insane fight. But Thurman's really good too. He says he's gonna surprise people on the feet, but I'd love to see that. I would love to see him strike with me for a round or two, and yeah, we'll see if you surprise people. We'll see.
Okay, so you can't leave us on the cliff. Oh, actually, you did tell us. Kadu was the second one.
Yeah,
I was almost gonna say who's the second one. But I'm excited for this matchup for many reasons. You've been kind of cemented yourself at Cage Titans as when your name's on a card, it's like, all right, that fight's a must see.
Yeah.
And then I also think that you and Thurman are the top of the line, at bantamweight in the region. So it's just like, it's fitting that we as fans will get to see this, because probably when you guys go pro, your careers will kind of,
right,
run parallel and maybe not ever have the chance to, kind of cross, which, maybe you'll be training partners or whatever in the future. So I think the fans are in for a treat. And I mentioned to him, he obviously talks about striking and you've obviously won your last fight by submission. But for the for the layman fans at home, they're looking at this as striker versus grappler. This is a tale as old as time in MMA.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, he's gonna shoot just like every other guy that I fought. He's gonna shoot for his life. He's gonna see that he can't take me down, and he's gonna panic. And that's when I'm just gonna put it on him. I knew he was gonna beat Ash Rao. I knew that. Shit, I was beating Ash Rao too until he did that fucking Hail Mary fucking leg lock bullshit. But all respect to Ash. But yeah, it's gonna be a striker versus grappler matchup. I hope he strikes with me. I really do.
Carter, I got to ask you on that note, as we, you talk about your striking, what do you attribute your striking and the dynamic, like this dynamic striker that you are? What do you attribute to that? Because like, I know you grew up training with like Mitch Raposo, who is a good striker in his own right, but a lot of his, accolades are like, people probably talk about more of his wrestling and his grappling dominance, maybe a little bit more in his early days than they did of his striking. Like, so,
Yeah.
When your main training partner is a grapple heavy guy, you talk about your other main training partner, like Aaron Hughes throughout the years, who's known as the guillotine fiend, like
Right.
who's more of a grapple head. Like you kind of broke the mold out of regiment where if you were fighting a regiment guy, Mitch or Aaron, you were more worried about the grappling. You were a guy who blasts on the scene. It's like, fuck grappling. This guy's going to kick your head off. Where did that kind of come from?
So obviously my striking coach, Brian, but when I like first started out, I don't know, I just loved striking over jiu-jitsu mostly. Obviously, you know what like smokers are, right?
Yeah.
And like they're mostly just kickboxing smokers. And I had a fuckload of smokers, dude. I think I had like 15 or like 18 smokers. And like I just fell in love with kickboxing, and that's just where I ended up being more comfortable. I'm a long, lengthy dude too. I can punch hard, I can kick hard, so it's just where I feel more comfortable. And I feel like that's why I started off so rough at the beginning of my career in MMA, because I was just so comfortable striking. I got scared of like mixing up with the grappling and stuff and getting into my own head. As you know, this game's 90% mental usually, and I just wasn't myself in there. But once I did more grappling, got more confident in that, the strikes started to land, and here we are, fighting for a title again.
And here we are is absolutely true. It has been incredible. True or false? You mentioned the smokers. True or false? You've been banned from competing at Wishers.
No,
it's not true.
No comment. No comment.
It's true because I've heard that you were banned from competing there. You're a scary dude, man. Like, a lot of times when I'm matching guys, and I just say this all the time, like, you give me the most dominant grappler, and it's like I can get a list to line up and fight that guy.
Yeah.
You give me a guy who's putting people's lights out. It's like, you know what? If I get submitted in front of my friends, I tapped out, whatever. You get stretchered out. That's something that not a lot of people want to sign up for.
Shout out Dalton English.
Yeah. He's actually fighting for a title himself. He's actually
It's fucking.
Yeah, he recovered pretty. I gotta tell you, for a guy to get knocked out that
I know,
and break his ankle on the fall from getting knocked out. Yeah, he's 3-2 now, and he's fighting for a title coming up. But he just like totally took it in stride. Like he came from a family of bull riders, and they own like a rodeo for bull riding. So like it was like no big deal. He's like, yeah, I got knocked out. Fucking my ankle snapped in half. And his parents are back there. They're like, he'll be back. Don't worry. And I'm like, okay, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's a tough dude.
He's a tough dude, but
he's a tough fucking dude. That's for sure.
Let me ask you, as we talk about striking, grappling, were you surprised with the way your last fight went, where you were able to get a submission victory or was this kind of like, we talked a little bit after the fight, but like, hey guys, I'm not just a striker. Like I do train grappling as well. Was that kind of like a feather in your cap? Did you feel any different type of way to get a victory in that route, or was it just kind of like,
Nah, I definitely did. It felt really good, to be honest. Just like you said, just to show that I'm not just a striker. After I lost like the Ash Rao fight, like I don't know, I felt like a weird pressure on me. Like I didn't want to be known as like just a guy who got like that one knockout that one time and just that's it. Like that's the highlight of my career. Like no, I want to like keep winning in spectacular fashion and just keep getting better and show people that I'm a legit fighter. That I didn't just get lucky that one time and just got that one highlight reel KO. Like I wanted to cement my name and
I would argue that wasn't just one, because your fight before that you won.
Oh yeah, the liver shot. That's right.
The liver shot. Like I don't think anybody was saying you got lucky with that strike. I mean, that was something else. But before that, you had a knockout of the year candidate with that body shot knockout. TKO, so it's like, and then you fight with Atlas. Pump the brakes on being only known as a lucky one shot. I know you're being humble, but people knew who the fuck Carter Whitty was back then. But I don't know if you got a chance to listen to Thurman talk a little bit earlier. Anything that he might have said that stood out to you besides just kind of he plans on striking with you?
He said he's gonna make it an MMA fight. My last guy tried to too, and we saw that ended up. It's gonna be a good fight. He's a great fighter. I got nothing but respect for him. He trains with a few of my friends now.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a good one.
All right. Well, promise. We always, you're known for being an exciting fight, so it's absolutely going to be a good one. I think Thurman has made a reputation for himself as well as always being in exciting fights too. So I think this is one of those ones that you circle it no matter what other fights we announce on this card. And as excited as somebody might be for another one, it's like, nah, this is the one you circle. Don't go to the bathroom during this. Like, this is going to be one of those good ones.
Do you remember what I said my last fight when you interviewed me?
I don't remember. I mean, I probably do if you say it, but refresh me up.
I said, I'm going to make the fight exciting. He's going to try to hold me down on the cage for 5 rounds or 3 rounds. I'm going to make it exciting.
So are you saying that again this time?
Oh, yeah. I'm saying it again this time. He's going to be shooting for his life, baby. I promise.
All right. Well, Carter, man, I cannot wait. We're a little over a month and a half. Super excited that, obviously one point it was like, all right, we were getting you no matter what. We were going to get you the pro debut, but I think that this fight makes sense for everybody. I think this will be a fun one. And then, go from here. And there's plenty of more Carter Whitty vintage performances in Cage Titans over the years. So I'm pumped for that.
Absolutely, my friend.
All right, my man. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. I'll see you. Thank you.
Everybody.
Peace.
All right. There we go. The man himself, Carter Whitty. Let's fucking go. Aaron Hughes is right. James Bond, the most violent. Let's go. Carter from Kyle Bowler. Good luck to Carter. Kyle Bowler. It was a little bit of pro talk. Kyle Bowler is actually going pro, I believe, for LFA. Or maybe. Oh shit. I shouldn't give other people's news. Anyways, I think he's got something good. Kyle, the Magic Man, performance of the night winner for MGM Boston, and he's got some stuff going on for his next fight. So we'll look forward to seeing him compete, and then maybe back with Cage Titans later in the year. Brian Russell, what's going on, man? May 9th is absolutely going to be fun. Maybe we'll get you a part of it. I know you've been looking for making your MMA jump. Sam, Johnny Cupcakes' face is going to look like a smashed cupcake when Nick gets done with them. All right. I think we got a Nick Eldridge fan, and I think Nick Eldridge is going to be calling in a second. I think his time slot was 9:30. We went a little over, but I'm pretty sure. Let me actually make sure I text Nick. Hold on. Let me see. Nick, where are we at? Where are we at? All right, I just texted and said we're ready. So there you have it. Just a recap of some of the stuff we talked about already. Man, this fucking camera, I don't really like it. I feel like I'm super red. Is that just me? Do I look like red? Do I look really red-faced to you guys? I swear there's only water in my jug. I don't know what light is best with this camera I got, but I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. He's trying to get in now. Alicia. Thank you, Alicia. Let's see. A little red. A little blue. A little mood lighting. Nah. I feel like I'm a little white, but a little too bright for me. Anyways. So if you're just tuning in, earlier tonight we had Thurman Hargrove on, the champ at Bantamweight. He announced he will be taking on Carter Whitty. And so Thurman Hargrove versus Carter Whitty for the Cage Titans Bantamweight title. We had Johnny Cupcakes on, and Johnny Cupcakes, a fight that we've already talked about, but we re-announced it tonight. Johnny Cupcakes taking on Nick Eldridge. If you didn't tune into the Johnny Cupcakes segment, it was a vintage Johnny Cupcakes. It's so funny because go back to his win against Charlie Gathers, and in the post-fight interview, for the winner's interview, he was very respectful. I think he was like, I don't even know the champ's name. And then he's like, I'd like to fight for the belt. Super nice, no like bad blood call out. And then tonight he's on the show and something's in the water. And he was just like, he has camo pants. He hunts. I hate him. It's kind of crazy. So make sure after this gets posted, after we get off air, you rewind and go watch that. That'll be interesting. I'd be intrigued to know if Nick caught any of it and if he has any interesting facts. I'm definitely going to ask him if he really is a hunter, though, because that was something that I was like, oh, we can't just assume he hunts. Maybe he does. And if he does, that's all the power to him. But I thought that was a weird rant and a funny rant. And it's one of those ones that when Johnny talks, you just put him up on the screen and let him go for it. But as Nick's trying to get in, I'm going to give you – so I already went over Carter Whitty, Thurman Hargrove, Nick Eldridge, Johnny Cupcakes. Joe Poria, Joey Guns has been locked in. We will be announcing his fight in the next day or two. Huge fight, taking on an undefeated fighter who's 5-0. I'm not going to release the name, but Joey Guns 7-2, putting a 7-2 record up on the line at flyweight, taking on an undefeated 5-0 fighter that I'll release soon. Zach DiSabatino is back. It's hard to say this, but I'm going to say it. When you're coming off 2 fights in a row that you beat two UFC veterans, it's hard to say what I'm going to say next, but this may be his toughest fight to date, this upcoming one. And he's taking on a very tough veteran. And that's why it's kind of weird. It's like, well, he just fought 2 UFC vets. How is this fight the toughest of his career? I think that this fight presents a lot of challenges for him. And it's kind of that next level fight that, a lot of people will be like, what's going on with Zach? Is a contender? What's this? I think this is one of those type fights for Zach. So, we'll be announcing that this week. Miguel Savesin is back in the MMA cage coming up. We have the offer sheet out to his opponent, so we'll hope to announce that this week. Hillary Rose had an opponent and literally in a 24-hour span went from confirmed to now not confirmed, but we have a new iron in the fire, and we have a new opponent that we're in negotiations with right now. Those are the pro fights that will be kind of rounding out the card, as well as a Josiah Fry sighting. Josiah Fry will be coming back and making his pro debut. He's taken the last few months off to kind of sharpen up some skills, and he will be coming back for his pro debut. Mike Joliker as well will be back. He's our featherweight champion. He's actually going to go up and try to become champ and go up to 155 and fight for that belt. We'll announce that later. But I heard the doop. So that means the man, Nick Eldridge, is in the chat. So I'm going to bring him up. Right quick, I got a question that I'm going to answer. It is straight up MMA events for May 9th. And then Carter Whitty asked if it's going to be the bigger cage. Yes, it will be the bigger cage. The 24-foot octagon that we purchased for MGM will be our cage moving forward. No more little cage, 20-foot cage. We've retired that. unless for some reason when we get that 24-footer in to Memorial Hall and it doesn't work, because obviously, as you guys know, on that floor, it's very, it's very narrow. So that 20-foot cage, there's only 1 or 2 rows on each side. So the fact that it's there's not a lot of room to expand, but the fact that we went from a hexagon to an octagon, the hexagon, it was 22, though it was 20 feet panel to panel, flat to flat, it was 22 side to side. So our side already pushed out to 22 feet. So this 24 flat to flat is really not that much bigger. So I gave you a boring fucking answer, more words than I had to give you, but yes, we will have the bigger cage, unless for some random reason when we set up Saturday morning and it's a fuck show and we say rip it down and put the old one back in. But we did already measure and all that stuff. Measure twice, cut once. So it will be bigger. For the show, JoJo versus Marquez Forrest, that'll be a fun fight. But I already made him wait, so I'm not going to take any more questions right now unless it's related to the champ, Nick Eldridge, because he's here and he wants to talk. So let's go, Nick. What's going on, my man?
How's it going?
How you doing, my man?
Doing good.
The champ's in the building. We're excited to have you back. You know, it's been a little while since you picked up that belt against Jacobo Apito. A great fight. You know, I don't know if we caught up since then, but, you know, let's go back in time, 6 months or so. You know, what was it like to, there wasn't your first championship win. You're the pro champ up at NEF, but what was it like to take on Jacobo and kind of walk away with that belt?
Yeah, that was awesome. I always love fighting for Cage Titans. It's an awesome venue and just good atmosphere. Jacobo was coming off that big knockout, so definitely had that in the back of my mind. So it's cool to go in there and get the win against someone of his caliber.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of talk going into that fight. Who was going to pull it out? You had, I think you just get the job done. I think that was the interesting piece of that fight. Like, you go in and get the job done. And like, Jacobo kind of had a little bit more flash. Like, he's got the hairdo, he's got the colored hair, he's got the weird walkouts and all that stuff. And he's a lot of flash. And you're just, you kind of remind me of Matt Hughes, but like a guy who just grabs his lunchbox. You're going to show up, you're going to kick some ass, and you're going to go home and just kind of get it done. So that was a great performance, and it was great kind of contrast in styles of fighters. And it was super impressive victory. So congrats. It was an honor to have you as our champ. With that being said, if I don't ask, the chat's going to be mad at me. Do you hunt?
Yes, I do.
Okay. We got it out, because I don't know if you caught the Johnny Cupcakes, but he went on a tirade about you hunting. Did you catch any of that?
No, I was told a little bit about it, but that was it. No, I didn't hear it, but
it's so funny. He mentioned something about you having camouflage pants, and then that just went on a run. He was like, I bet he hunts, and I got dogs, and just, it was quite funny. And then I'm like, how are we jumping to conclusions? Maybe he just likes camouflage, but you do hunt.
I do hunt.
All right, cool. Carter Whitty said you should have answered the call with a deer head.
Yeah, I don't have a deer head in the house, but
no.
I got a couple at my brother's and my dad's. I should have had one ready.
So you've hit some deer in your time.
I got a couple. Yep.
Nice. And your wife's in here. He does hunt. We love our free venison.
Good lean protein.
Somebody else comments. He goes, Nick definitely hunts, right when your face went on the screen. I was like, I guess you just scream hunter. I don't see it, but I'm not really,
Yeah, I mean, I do love the hunt. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, are you in Maine? Are you in Maine?
New Hampshire.
Okay, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I was up at Nostos actually a week and a half ago, last Monday actually, helping at the new gym, putting together the cage that you guys purchased in the boxing ring for the new space. It is incredible. I'm super excited to see you guys moving into that space.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, for sure. I remember, so Bill Jones was our first ever champion,
Yep.
And I remember the shop, and then I remember the Nostos, the building that you're currently in. So from 15 years ago, to see you guys now be able to expand to that huge space, that's incredible. But it's much on the back of Devin and Carolyn, and then pushing the Nostos brand forward. It's really on the backs of fighters like you and Ozzy and Brody and Pafal and all you guys, like really bringing the notoriety to the gym. You guys have really exploded in the past few years. What do you attribute that to?
I mean, I think just having us all in the same room is huge. And having Devin as our coach is huge. Having Nick Miles, Jamie Sprague is in the mix now. We just have great coaching, great training partners, just a really good atmosphere. We push each other every day. And I think that's it. We're all just a lot of us started together or started around the same time. So we're kind of like progressing through our careers at the same time. And yeah, I think it's just coaching and training partners.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say when you have a gym that's all kind of like-minded individuals, you're all going for the same goal. You breed off each other's. And, I see it when gyms have come to Cage Titans where they've had one fighter on a card and then they have four. And it's like this, when you're all working towards a goal, all in fight camps, you just all vibe off each other. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
I've asked you this before, I'm sure, but if we can go back to your early, like what brought you into MMA and what was your background, if any, that kind of you brought with you?
I had no combat sports background. One of my buddies just started training jiu-jitsu at Nostos, and I just came in one day. And so I trained just jiu-jitsu for like probably close to 2 years. And then just seeing the fighters train and everything, it interested me. So I started training MMA, and I got a fight pretty shortly after. And I just fell in love with it. So
were you a feisty kid growing up that fought a lot or anything?
Not like fist fight, but I have a brother, and we used to wrestle all the time. We were big into WWE when we were kids and shit like that. But I mean, I wasn't I wasn't like into combat sports or anything. I was into baseball and football and stuff like that.
Nice. Baseball. What position in baseball and what position in football?
So I played football like 1 or 2 years, but baseball I played my whole life. I pitched, played shortstop, second base, outfield. Right. I played all over throughout the years, but yeah, that was my sport growing up.
Who wins in the fight? Is it an older brother or younger?
He's my younger brother.
So you obviously beat him up then, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So, going into this, actually, before we get to the matchup, you burst onto the scene and were like, fight. This has kind of been one of the longest layoffs of your career since you started fighting. What has that been like for you? And does your wife probably want to kill you because you're probably driving her crazy? Because I hear her in the background.
Yeah, well, I think you hear more of the baby running around yelling at me. She hasn't seen me all day, so she wants me to give her attention. But all
right, we'll go quick. No,
yeah. So yeah, it's been good having a layoff because like I never really I didn't have time between camps to like develop new skills and stuff like that. It just I would just jump back into camp and keep fighting. So it's been good to like first of all, have some time with family, and then second, to be able to develop some skills that maybe were falling behind or that I just didn't really give time to develop because it was like I had 14 fights or so in like 2 years. So yeah, no, it's been good, but I'm ready to get back in there, and hopefully I'm coming off a loss, so hopefully I can change that.
It wasn't incredible. I'm looking back right now, 2023 to 2025. So a little like 2 years and 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
All your fights, 6-1, 7-1 as an amateur, 6-1 as a pro. Incredible run you were going, you've been on. Actually, I just looked at. I didn't realize you fought Thurman Hargrove, who's a 35 champ. He's fighting Carter Whitty. We announced that earlier. So that was man. You've got your list of names is insane. Blaze Nichols, who just fought on the Boston card.
Yeah, he looked awesome.
Yeah, he looked real. Were you at the Boston card?
I wasn't there, but I was watching, and
nice.
Blaze looked great, and I'm a fan of Thurman too. He's looked great in his Cage Titans fights. So yeah, I'm lucky to fight some really good guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to this fight, again, I have 5 kids, so I'm gonna be super mindful. We can keep it quick. We'll keep you like maybe 3 or 4 more minutes. Coming to this fight, were you surprised by the call out originally? And what was your initial thought when, like, hey, this fight could come up and Johnny Cupcakes, who's been around for, you mentioned you've been fighting for 2 years. This guy fought at Cage Titans 1 back in 2010, so 16 years. What was it like when you heard that he wanted to fight you? And then what was it like when it kind of set in, like, him as an opponent?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I know that we kind of floated his name as a potential guy that we'd be willing to fight. I'm not sure if it was before or after he called me, because I think he's called me out a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I loved it. I respect Johnny, even though he doesn't like that I hunt, I guess. But he's had a great career, and I'm honored to share the cage with him. And that's, I've fought a lot of good guys, but a lot of, like, not established guys. A lot of, like, 3-0s, like Jacobo was 4-2. So just someone with a record like Johnny's would be a huge win if I could get it done. So
absolutely. I'm sure you've kind of, probably your phone might blow up a little bit, people telling you what he is saying. Does that, I think I know the answer. You seem pretty no nonsense. Does that change anything for you? Like, hear him kind of trash you or shit talk you a little bit. Does that change anything for you? It doesn't seem like you're that type of guy, but I figure I'd ask.
Not at all.
No. Easy answer. He mentioned, it's so funny. He's an interesting guy because, I mentioned it before you came on, like his initial call out after he beat Charlie Gathers. He was like, I don't know, the guy who has the belt. I don't even know his name. And that was his initial call out. And then today he was just like, I'm going to smash this guy's face and all this. It was quite the 180, about face. But I think it just adds to the intrigue of the fight. You're absolutely right. He's kind of chasing that 25th win and kind of plans on retiring retiring from MMA if he finally gets that 25th win. And I think for this is a huge fight for you to get the win because, as you said, like it's a strongly established guy with a longevity in career, not a guy who's up and coming, not a guy who hasn't been tested yet. This is a guy who's been trialed and tested. So I think it's a huge win for you in your career to just kind of keep catapulting on the trajectory you got. I'm excited, though it wasn't with us, you came up short in your last fight, but to have this time off, I think it's important because now I think you're going to be even more dangerous because you might see some holes that you might have had, and now you're fixing those things early right now, and you're going to come back even better. Is that kind of what's been going on in the gym? How did you take that loss?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was just there were adjustments I needed to make, and I didn't make them. And there were just like holes in my game that I needed to address. So I think I've done that, and I think you're going to see a different fighter than I was 6 months ago.
Well, man, you're so established in your career so far with double champ status, NEF, Cage Titans, 6-1, the success. That's what's amazing to me with you as a fighter. You've accomplished so much in 2 years that it's taken guys 4, 5, 6 years to accomplish. And I know from when I trained and I fought, like you're the biggest sponge, so to speak, when you're early in your career. So like what you pick up fighting after 2 years and taking 3 months off, you're learning so much more than a guy who's been around for 15 years and takes too much off. That's how it's been for you.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that 100%.
Nice. Well, let you get to your kids. I really appreciate your time. And I can't wait to see you come and defend this title and walk into Memorial Hall and put on a show.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm
All
excited.
right. Well, tell the family I said hello, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, my man. All right, there you have it. The champ, Nick Eldridge. Very different interview than Johnny. Obviously, I suspected that, so I wasn't trying to push. And also, Nick, Johnny's a guy that I just put him up full screen and he just talks. Nick, he's not as boisterous as some others. And I think I alluded to that a little bit when he fought Jacobo. Like what I was trying to say is like Jacobo style's in your face, flashies on social media, doing crazy stuff. And Nick's kind of just like, here's some pictures of me and my wife. Here's a picture of my kid. Like, no nonsense. Like I'm just going to show up to the gym every day and I'm going to show up to fight and cash my check and go home, which I love. It really is like he just embodies that, like that. I don't know if kids nowadays say it, but like grab your lunch pail, just go to work, come home, do your job, and that's it. So I'm very excited for that fight. I think Johnny, as he tries to chase a book ending of his career, I think that's just such a historical moment for him. And then I think for Nick, who sits at 6-1, and this could be that monumental historic win of his career where he gets to now 7-1 and he has a huge veteran's name on his resume. That's like, hey, I'm not a prospect. I'm that guy. So I think both these guys have huge implications on this fight. Joe Leonard, they definitely don't say lunch pail anymore. Yeah, I guess not. Your lunch pail is your phone and you order Uber Eats to the job site probably. But either way, thanks for tuning in tonight. Just to recap one more time, I'll just kind of go down the rundown. We announced today we had Thurman Hargrove, our Cage Titans Bantamweight amateur champion, on the show to announce that he will be defending his title against Carter Whitty. Thurman is an absolute stud in the regional scene here in New England. Has looked unstoppable in all his fights. He's only come up short once. And that was a fight that he was winning most of it. As for Carter, the story of him is he was going pro. His name was in for a pro debut, and he said unless something else exciting happened, he told you guys tonight he had two names in mind that would make him stick around. One was Kadu Lanes, who he was scheduled to fight before but fell through. And the second was Thurman Hargrove. And that's how we coax him out of going pro one more time to give you fans a treat, him and Thurman Hargrove. It's going to be incredible. And then we had personality for days, Johnny Cupcakes Campbell. You've known him. You've loved him. You might have hated him over the past 16 years at Cage Titans. His pro debut at Cage Titans 1 in 2010. And here he is, Cage Titans 76, 16 years later. Fought for the title at Cage Titans 8. He was first victorious, winning the Bantamweight title at Cage Titans 21. And here he is sitting at win 24, trying to make history and get to 25 and retire from MMA at 25. And it just so happens to be a title fight. And that would be a crazy story. And then as for Nick, our Bantamweight champion who took out Jacobo Pito, took out undefeated Phil Lucino, comes from an incredible school at Nostos, all the guys and all the killers up there, Jared St. Jean, Ozzie Martin, all those guys. It's just another killer to come out of there. If he can pick up this win and kind of halt Cupcakes' his historic run, I just think that's that blue chip win of his career that just separates him. So a lot of good things going on. I also I did announce that Joe Poirier is on the card, and he will be taking on a 5-0 undefeated opponent. Contract's out, so I'm just not going to announce the name, but everything's been verbally agreed to. Joe Poirier, Joey Guns will be announcing his fight in the next couple of days, and probably one of his toughest fights to date against an undefeated fighter from Venezuela, actually. now lives in the States. Also on the card, Zach DiSabatino, fresh off back-to-back wins against 2 UFC vets. He's in probably one of his toughest fights to date. Things are verbally agreed there. We just have to make it official with the contract probably the next day or so, and that will be announced. And then Miguel Silvestrin's fight offers are out. One side agreed. One side asked for another day or so to make sure everything's in order. Miguel Silvestrin will be on this card. And then Hillary Rose, incredible. It always seems to happen to her. We had a fight, agreed, everything was in place, negotiated everything, and within 24 hours, they said, oh, never mind, our fighter's not ready. Back to the drawing board, we do have somebody in mind that we're working on from Brazil, so we should have that locked up this week. So that will kind of round up the pros. We got Eldridge versus Cupcakes, Joe Poria, D-Sab, Silvestrin, and Hillary Rose will kind of fill out the pro card. Plus the pro debut of Josiah Fry will be happening on this card. We'll announce him soon. And then we have the 170 belt up for grabs. Mike Jolliker is going from 45, our 45 champs, going up to 55 to try to become the champ. We got Mark McKay on the card. Stavros Batsinellis is working to get on this card. Jordine Tavares is working on. Gage Da Silva, who's had some great success in the Muay Thai world. He's jumping in to the MMA world. And we're making his debut. Ryan Woodside will be competing on this card. Rafael Maya, who is a breakout star at MGM. We got a lot of good ones for you. So tune in the next Monday, Table Titans. Make sure you tune in to our social media channels. We'll be announcing. We've closed the book on MGM. We've closed the book on the fun post of like who the filler kind of post that we've been doing. We updated the rankings, the pound for pound rankings. So the book is kind of closed on that stuff. And we have a clean slate all May 9th coming at you for the next 6 weeks. Then we do have July 18th for the Cage Titans 77. We have September 12th, which would be Cage Titans 78. Then we have November 14th, which will be Cage Titans 79. We are going to plan another MGM card by the end of the year. So things are cooking. We did take a couple weeks off after MGM Boston back on February 21st. It's been about a month, and, the wheels are greased back up. The batteries are recharged, and Cage Titans is back in a big way. And we're going to be crushing it in the next couple months. So thanks for tuning in tonight. I didn't want to tell everybody who Dan's fighting because I didn't want to ruin it. So I'm going to try to get both guys on the show next week. So we'll do that next week for you guys. So stay tuned next week. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Anything else? That's it. I think I will see you guys next week.